To the things that are being considered. Senator Tom Cotton joins me now. Senator, perhaps it's because of their advanced age or something, but Biden and Pelosi do not seem to care very much about America's future.
No, Laura, they don't. Nancy Pelosi is talking about gimmicks. I would call what Joe Biden has proposed a gimmick, but it's much worse than that. It's dangerous. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is for emergencies. The only emergency I see is Joe Biden's polling numbers and the fact that we've got a midterm coming up in about 7 months. But if we release this oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve every day for the next 6 months, we're only treating the symptoms, not the cause. Its cause is the war that Joe Biden is waging on oil and gas production in America. In 2019, at the peak of production under the last administration, we were producing more than 1 million barrels every single day than we're producing today. So that alone is what he's releasing from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. If we would simply allow the oil and gas workers across America to produce the resources that God put underneath our soil. But it's worse than that. What if, say, Iran, emboldened by a terrible nuclear deal, strikes refineries or production facilities in places like Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or the United Arab Emirates? What if a major hurricane hits Louisiana and Texas this year? That's why we have the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, not to float Joe Biden's terrible poll numbers and try to help the Democrats limp into a midterm election. This is not just a gimmick, it's dangerous.
Well, one Democrat doesn't seem interested, Senator, in lowering gas prices.
The one consumer product that each American knows is the price of gasoline. And it becomes a metaphor for the economy, which is why it's imperative that we announce a Green New Deal agenda. That's the message which I'm working with, and that's the message which Joe Biden is making very clear has to be the agenda for our country.
Senator, is this proof Democrats just want Americans to suffer in order to push through this green agenda? I mean, amazing.
Yeah, I know. God bless Ed Markey. He tells the truth, and it is the truth. Joe Biden said this in the campaign. $5 a gallon gas is not an accident. It's not an unintended consequence. It is the intended consequence of their energy policies. They want to make us all poorer. They want to make you live in downtown areas and high-rise buildings and walk to work or take the subway or ride an electric scooter or whatever it is that Pete Buttigieg takes to work this week. They want to get you out of your pickup truck, out of your SUV, out of your home in the suburbs where you can have a backyard with your kids. This is the exactly intended consequences of their energy policies. They don't like it now, though, that it's going to cost them control of the United States Congress this fall.
And I want to move to the crush at the southern border, Senator, which is only going to get worse once Title 42 is repealed that allowed for the immediate expulsion of people who cross the border. Here was the White House today.
We have said many, many times, obviously, this is a decision that the CDC will make. That said, of course, we are preparing for contingencies. And so what I would say is, our goal is going to be to process migrants in a safe and orderly manner.
A safe and orderly manner to a work site near you, right?
Yeah, Laura, how about our goal be that we protect our border and we not allow 2 million illegal aliens to come in this year? This is not a decision for the CDC. It is a decision for the president. He could direct them to keep that emergency order in place, just as they've kept the emergency order in place for toddlers wearing masks on airplanes.
Or everyone wearing masks on planes. So let us get this straight. There's an emergency on airplanes in America, but there's not an emergency at our southern border. This is just another example of how Democrats love to use COVID when it suits their goals, whether it allows them to admit more illegal aliens into the country. Or they running around Congress right now saying they need $16 billion more in emergency COVID funding. But when it's inconvenient to them, like, I don't know, Joe Biden's approval numbers or Gavin Newsom having to go to a fancy French restaurant, then they want to wish it away. Well, Senator, really quickly, it looks like there could be as many as 4 to 5 million people crossing our southern border this year, the way things are going. 18,000 a day now, but that's only going to ramp up. That's just in the Eagle Pass district. Bill Maloogian was reporting, or 1,800 a day. I want to make sure I get the number right. But it's more than we've ever seen, ever in the history of the country. That's staggering. It's unprecedented. It's terrible for America's workers. It's terrible for our families and communities because so many drugs are going to be coming across our border as well. If Joe Biden wants a dime of additional spending, then we should get a vote next week in the United States Congress on keeping this emergency order in place so we can at least keep some element of control on the border, no matter how tiny it is under this president.
Well, I hope Mitch McConnell is listening. Senator, it's great to see you.